Hello, and welcome back on a Wednesday, RCO Network's CEO Radio. Rob Morales, RCO Network, coming at you live on a Wednesday, talking to the, I don't even know how to begin to describe you.
Everybody just calls me Diva.
Oh, the delicious Diva is here in and of herself. Miss Danielle Williams.
Hello.
Now the crowd is hot and bothered. Did you hear?
Yes, I love that. That's nice.
Oh yeah, we try to accommodate the best we can.
You do a great job.
Well, yeah.
I've watched some of the videos on YouTube. Well done. Good content of just some surprises that you would never see, especially when you first see the person come on camera.
Oh, really?
And you just are like, what? That's their business, and so fascinating. So it's good.
There's it's so funny when you come to like our events. One of the things that we don't and I mentioned that because October 20th here at RCO Network we're having our event, our gala event on October 20th. The link is down below if you want to sign up for tickets. Danielle is going to be here with us.
It's my first time, and I'm excited.
Your first time? Are you excited about your first time?
I'm excited that I'm going to have to figure out something cool to wear. That's the thing,
We haven't really
show up and be seen.
The funny thing is, like, as much as there's planning and everything else we got going on, the women tend to be like, well, what are you wearing?
I know. It's all about the clothes, the jewelry. Yes. It's all
just
about
be yourself,
the look. I know. That's what I love. We want people to come as they are, who they are, and just really show that self-expression. So that's the beautiful thing. It'll be good.
You're a comedian too, right?
I do. I've done stand-up for quite a while. It's helped me, I think, a lot in my business and just communication and just with interacting with people, because, you can laugh at yourself and don't take things too serious, especially comes in handy when you're trying to get out of a jam or anything like that. So it's good.
What's like a go-to joke? I mean, I haven't heard any of your comedy.
You haven't?
No. Well, no. I try to troll you as much as I could.
No, you're so crazy. You're so crazy. Well, I always tell people that I love wigs. I do. I've been wearing them for years.
You can't even tell.
And it's like it's just crazy. But I always tell people that a wig a day keeps the ugly away, and you just got to, be prepared. And I do. I do. I have a wig for every occasion in life. So I got myself taken care of.
I gave up on wigs a long time ago.
Yes, I noticed. But you're looking great. It looks great on you. That shine. I love it.
Do you have any powder by chance? I mean, I need to powder up a little bit.
I know. Isn't that the worst? It's like, sometimes I'll just bring a little fan too. If you want to cool yourself off, if you're getting a little shiny and warm, body temperature rise and just
my body temperature is rising right now. I'm glad you're here today, and I'm glad you're here for the event. We're planning on having you as a speaker. We haven't come with the agenda yet because we're still collaborating to try to figure that part out. But
no, it'll be good though. I'm sure there'll be some excitement and just some new things that I'll be able to embark on with the network here, and so I'm looking forward to it.
So you've been through a number of things in your life. I mean, you were on radio. You've been on TV. I think AZ Morning is that what I was?
Yeah, AZ TV 7.
Yeah, I haven't watched TV in 10 years. By the way.
You know what? I don't watch very much TV either. I have certain things that I watch, but I don't watch local news or any of that. In this day and age, you can get that everywhere.
But I think that's healthy,
TV.
though. I definitely think that's healthy to separate yourself from video and social media because we get so lost and inundated with just the message that somebody else is trying to deliver. And sometimes, I don't think it's just Facebook, but I think it's, even yourself. Because with social media, the way it's developed developed to cater to whatever your interests are. And then it circulates those interests and it makes them even worse, which is, I don't trust social media.
Yes, we're not getting the real truths. We're just getting little snippets.
Yeah, or the truth we create. And that is really, I think, the thing that we have to really pay attention to is that sometimes we create our own truth.
Right.
And that's not healthy either. I mean, you got to have some sort of dissenting opinion.
Yeah,
that's why most people get married, because they want to argue with somebody the rest of their life.
You got to go back and forth. You got to have that yin to the yang, right?
And so you were on a newscaster for a number of years, and you decided to kind of start your own business. Do you want to talk about what you're doing now, Miss?
Well, I'm doing a lot of different things now, and I love it. So it's just an extension of everything I've done, with my journalism from radio to TV. Yep. But I've always been someone who immersed myself in the community. I love volunteering, and I love nonprofits. I have a passion for them because I truly believe they're the backbone of every community. They're the ones doing the work. And whether they started, out of just some tragic situation, or they feel that they have, sometimes like a politician, I feel I can make a change. They have this desire to just do better. And so you got to applaud that because they're taking a risk. So I would always volunteer and do different things like that. So just over time and just through the things I've been through, I've been able to really sharpen my skills, put things together, and now I have my own business. And it's just 3 tiers of what I've always been doing, but just in a way now that people can contact me directly and just make it happen. And that's emceeing and corporate host for a lot of different events, because this is the season. Everybody's having a gala or a fundraiser, a charity.
Like us.
Yes, like you guys. But yours is a little different, so it's nice. I just kind of get to hang out and be myself, and I don't have to, have this script and have it super tight and
Oh yeah, we're pretty loose, and I think the foundation of any relationship is being just yourself.
Right.
And we talked before camera on this kind of different differentiation between nonprofit and for-profit, where I think a lot of nonprofits are full of passion and they want to go out there and change the world, and then you got for-profits that are out there to change the world, but also make a lot of money on top of it. And each one of those, segments of business, because nonprofits actually have to make money too.
Oh, absolutely.
They do it just in a different way. They're full of that passion, but they don't have that business acumen.
A lot of them don't. They're startups. They're small. And you just got to, applaud them for just having that gung-ho attitude and just really diving in. But then there's all these elements that they didn't really think about when they were starting it. And some of them are really good at it, and they do figure it out. But then there's some that don't, and they kind of crumble by the wayside. But there should be somewhat of a class maybe you should have to take or get a certificate to run a nonprofit in some ways, because there are some business smarts. Or join us here at RCO Network, and we can help you assist in your marketing needs and connect with people on a personal relationship. You have a little business smarts and savvy to go along with it, but the passion is great. I love it.
Yeah, and then with people that are in business and for profit, they get so entrenched in making the profit, making the money, making the widgets and services, that they really kind of lose out on the passion. You get so inundated by the money, and that's not necessarily a welcoming part of life too, because I think we want that balance.
Yeah, you have to have balance, or else you're going to be teetering too far to one side, and it's not good. So that's what I did. I found my balance, I found my niche, and created my business, and I love it. And I get to do a variety of different things. I'm a motivational speaker based on, situations that have come up in my life that I've been able to overcome and just really take hold of. And years ago, when I was working with a number of nonprofits and working with the kids in the nonprofits, I created a public speaking workshop called the Junior Public Speaking League. So I do get a chance to facilitate that.
That's really cool, yeah.
In some of the, elementary schools here in town. And I've done it for leadership groups, team building, just, one-on-one. I've worked really closely with an author and a motivational speaker who wrote his first book, and he was getting out into the circuit, and we had a really good time because he had such great promise, and, that passion was there, but still the nerves of, standing up in front of someone and actually taking their horrific story, putting it in a book, and now out to share it to everyone. So it's good though. Yeah,
it's like a Brene Brown moment, right? Learning how to be vulnerable in front of a crowded room, and I guess I'll share my experiences, with everything that we have here. A lot of it was, I never wanted any of this, but I'm so glad that I'm here in this position, and what I mean by that is the onset of everything. When I first started my business, and we talked about it 9 years ago, one of the things I just completely honestly hated was that whole sense of self, I don't even know the term, but just taking pictures of yourself,
right?
And that self-promotion. That's what I want to say. I always hated that, because I'm there's more to life than just pushing sales and being this person that's self-promoting and hey, me, look at me. I've never been that person, and everything from that point to now has just been trying to turn that around and being well, how can I promote my value without having to be self-promoting?
Okay.
How do I connect with people outside of just normal sales 101 BS? Because a lot of it is BS. You'll get the transaction, but you don't necessarily get the relationship.
Yeah, and everything is based off of genuine relationships. That's how you have longevity in the game, and you have to be vulnerable. You have to show your true emotions, and you have to be willing to just be a little humbled along the way, as well as not taking yourself so serious. And just sometimes do things that are maybe not the norm. Was
that what humbled you in your life? The things that you've been through, because you've been through lung cancer, right? Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's been crazy. It'll be 4 years this November. So November 21st of this year, it'll be 4 years. So November 21st of 2018, it was literally the day before Thanksgiving.
And you had lung cancer, and you did not smoke at all?
Nope, never smoked. I went from working out literally for years. And in 2018, I was just sort of like my year, you know.
Yeah.
I just kept telling people, I said, you know, I'm going to be in the best shape ever, because my whole goal was I was going to Miami. I'm going to celebrate. I'm going to be in a bikini. And I did that. Then I came back, you know, and I worked out like 6 days a week. But I always worked out, always hiked, always went to the gym. So it was my life. It was just an extension of who I am and taking care of myself. And then I came back and I just started losing weight, which I loved because I had never been skinny. So this was a big deal for me. You know, it was like, oh, this is great. You know, no complaints on my end. But then my back started hurting and losing more weight. The pain intensified. I actually went to the dentist, and my dentist goes, well, you know, a couple months ago we worked on your teeth, and your gums just aren't healing like they should be. He goes, I can tell internally that you have something off. Your body is sick. He goes, you need to go to the doctor. So I said, well, my back has been hurting, but other than that, I feel okay. And so then I went to my doctor, and they said, well, why are you so thin? What's going on? Let's do an MRI of your spine, because you keep complaining about your back. And once I got the MRI, they told me I had stage 4 lung cancer. It spread to my spine, my pelvis, and my shoulder. It was all in my bones. I was 94 pounds, so it was
How old
a
were
lot. I was 50. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Shut
Crazy.
up.
Yeah.
You're like
no, I'm 54 now.
Oh my God, you don't even look like 25.
That's crazy, but
Asked for a number 2 minutes ago.
I know, right? You old woman. But yeah, it was just crazy. It was insane. And lots of radiation, chemo, biopsies on my lung, surgery on my spine because my lumbars kept collapsing. But through it all, you know, I shared everything on social media because I'm a very outgoing person. And I said, well, if I got stage 4 lung cancer as someone who never smoked and obviously took care of myself, there has to be a reason for that, because I always try to find the positive in something. Yeah. So after I had my moments of, you know, crying, getting over it, I gave myself 3 days. I said, then you got to snap out of it. You got to turn things around, because you always got to look for the good in things. That's at least what I try to do on a daily basis. So I just began to really wrap my arms around it. And I told my doctor, I said, well, I'm in for the fight of my life, and I'm literally going to kill my cancer with kindness. I'm going to love it. I'm going to embrace it. I'm going to find every way to make it difficult for it to do what it's trying to do, because I don't feel like it's my time to go. Yeah. And I just bounced back. My body just came back, and I was always pushing and working out. Even when I was in like super thin and painful, I told myself I have to mentally live like I don't have it. Even if I'm sore and unhappy and a little bit, you know, frustrated, I really have to push. This is the hardest thing I've ever been through. So I have to mentally and physically live like I don't have it. And so I started having a good time with it. I would do my hair and makeup and bring my high heel shoes to my appointments, and I would do Facebook Lives, and we would have fun with it. And I would just mock it. I really did. I just mocked it, and it turned around, and my doctors were so happy. And about 7 months into my chemo treatments and stuff, I started hiking again. Yeah. And before my 8th month, I was back to the top of Camelback, and my body was just transitioning. My weight was coming back. I never had any of the side effects that they talk about, and I just became this force, and it just took off. And I got national and local recognition, write-ups in medical journals. Mayo Clinic came and did a story on me. I'm constantly, to this day, still inundated. I've met some incredible people from different places, because I would always create my own videos and put them on YouTube about the different things that you're experiencing that no one wants to talk about. But I'm here to talk about it, because you got to start a conversation, because if I got it, I know somebody else did. And I literally met people from around the world. I met a lady from Switzerland who watched my videos on YouTube. We would do Zooms and Facebook Lives, and she had cancer, and she was just happy to see another African American who had never smoked have cancer. And she was like, I thought I was the only one. And I was like, no, there's a ton of us out there, you know. And it started a great conversation, because then I became a lung force hero working with the Lung Association. And I actually was invited to Washington, D.C. to share my story in front of Congress so they could make change for lung cancer patients who never smoked, because they only viewed us as a statistic on a piece of paper with numbers, and they were trying to figure out how to allocate the funding. And so when they got to hear stories and just see people like myself who embraced it and showed a different side to it, it made it more human. And so they were able to really say, well, we really do need to up the ante, because what a lot of people don't know is lung cancer is the number one killer of all cancers. It trumps breast cancer, but it's the least funded. So it was very important. And that's why I told my doctor, well, now I know why I got my cancer. I got it for a reason, to speak on a higher platform, use my journalism in a different way. And that's what I've been doing ever since.
Well, the amazing part is you've been able to divert and change that trajectory. But, I've had plenty of moments in my life where, I'm not the biggest proponent of what God is. And I know there's a lot of people out there. If you know me, you know that, you know.
Right.
But I've had my moments where I'm sitting there and I'm by myself and I really don't know who to talk to. So I might as well talk to God. And I've been through not quite lung cancer, but it's certain situations where I thought I was just completely devastated, and I thought I had nothing left. But you look up and you ask those questions, and I know it's not in that moment where you're in the process of learning. You're in school for something. Have you looked back at this point and understood, or at least reflected about what that learning lesson is? Because it doesn't seem like you should just get it and just be gone with it. Right? It's like, hey, you delivered something to me, and I was supposed to learn. Okay, I think I understood what it was that I was supposed to learn.
Absolutely.
Did that hit you?
Yeah, it was like a few months after I sort of wrapped my head around it, like, the first initial few days and telling family, you have your tears and everything. Then it was like, okay, now I got to get to work. So after a few months, I had an epiphany, and I have never had an epiphany before. And I remember telling my mom, I said, I always hear Oprah talk about it and didn't know what it was, couldn't never wrap my head around it. And I said, now I understand why I got the cancer, because this cancer is just the catalyst of me having to go through something extremely hard to really appreciate everything that I've been doing leading up to this point, was just sharpening my tools, because in a sense, God is saying, I have a bigger platform for you. I have more work for you to do on a larger scale than you could ever imagine. And it's not only going to help you, but it's going to help so many other people. And that's what my life has become, because I've met, like I said, people from around the world. I've been able to speak on amazing platforms and help create change. And I knew it had to be for a reason, because I went from working out 6 days a week, eating healthy and clean. I don't smoke, don't drink alcohol, don't drink coffee, to getting stage 4 lung cancer, dropping down to 94 pounds, to coming back to where I am and just moving forward and living and not stopping. So it's just great. It's amazing.
Yeah, and again, it's like, it's those moments of reflection, and you're probably not done with the work.
No,
it's probably still in progress.
Yeah.
And do you feel like where you're at right now has been successful in that journey?
I feel it's been successful. I feel it's been a very big learning curve of just understanding and accepting and just wrapping my head around this new entity of work that I never even expected to be a part of my life. But it is, because I get to do everything that I enjoy. I get to socialize, meet new people, go to different places, share my story, have fun, inject humor with it. So all the stuff I was doing before in different levels, with my comedy, with hosting events, speaking engagements. Now I'm doing them, and I'm the vessel, because I'm the one who went through the ordeal, and I get to share it, but I get to share it in a way that works on somewhat my terms, but also helps in different entities, almost like they didn't have it. And now I'm here to help facilitate something that they didn't have, but they know they needed, and I'm that person. So it's been great.
Did you ever develop any good lung cancer jokes?
No, but I have some jokes about me and my doctor, and
Danielle's a comedian.
Crazy.
You figure,
crazy.
You might as well, if you're going through this shit, you might as well have fun with it, I guess.
Yeah, you do. You have to have fun with it. You really do. But I've incorporated it into my comedy, but it's just insane. And when people hear it, they're just like blown away. But then they laugh with you, because they're like, oh my God. Then afterwards, I have so many people that come up to me and go, my sister's 3 years in remission, but she had breast cancer, she didn't have lung cancer, but you look like you never had anything done to you or even wrong with you. That's just so amazing.
But that's it, right? It's like you have to have some sort of tube coming out of you for them to see it's real, you know. And I don't get that part of it, but it is what it is.
It is. It's so true. It is what it is.
So what is the message now? If there was something to tell people in and of this moment, out of all the things you learned, what is that? What is that message for our owners, our business owners, everybody out there?
We're all going to go through adversities. Whether you're starting a business, whether you're in transition of leaving, a marriage, a relationship, things aren't going well with your children or the work situation, and you're deciding, okay, now's the time for me to move on. We're all going to be in transition, and we're all going to have those crazy challenges that really test us. Number one thing is that you have to remember you can never count yourself out, no matter how hard it gets. And that's what I did, because I've always had this strong mental mindset of being my own champion and cheerleader. And I totally believe that, good always trumps evil. And I said, once I wrapped my head around it, heard myself say it a few times that I had the lung cancer, I knew I had to get to work. And so you have to put in the work, but you have to truly invest in yourself and never count yourself out. I always equate things to hiking Camelback. I always say, it's very hard. And you have to put that one foot in front of the other, and it's not easy, and you're breathing, and you're stopping, and you're frustrated, and you're looking at this enormous mountain and thinking to yourself, how am I going to get to the top? I want to, but how am I going to do it? And it's just little by little by little. You don't overwhelm yourself. You just do a little, and then if you have to leave and come back and do a little bit more the next time, that's what you do. But you never give up. You keep pushing, because once you get to the top, your body has a way of letting you know. Once you've come through that difficult, your body lets you know that it's okay, because you see and you feel the reward. So for all that I've been through, I don't even remember how painful a lot of it was. And I've had a lot of stuff done to my body when I was at my weakest, my thinnest, and my sickest. But I don't remember the pain, because I'm relishing now in the effects of all the hard work I put in of not counting myself out. I'm reaping the benefits, and the rewards outweigh all of that devastating pain that you went through, and you'll never remember it. It's like a woman who goes through childbirth. The pain is enormous, but as soon as the baby's in her arms, she doesn't even remember. Doctor's down there stitching her up. She doesn't feel it. She doesn't remember.
Yeah, I don't know that part.
Yeah, because the joy is in the emotion of I came through, I did it, takes over, and your body has a way of just releasing and just letting you embrace and enjoy all of that hard work that you went through. This is the reward. So you have to remember the reward is out there. You have to put in the work, but never count yourself out.
Well, and I guess a question from me to you, being in a leadership role, because you're basically carrying this message, whether it was God-given, universe-given, whatever it was, being the leader of that message, or, for me, this organization, I can never have a bad day.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pressure there to always be on top, because people will challenge you in every which way direction to see, if you're being sincere, seeing if you're being genuine. And there's been moments where I've I took a Brene Brown moment, like, I got to be vulnerable. I got to accept my emotions and just let it out there. But, people commonly want to be led. They want to be told what to do. And that starts from a very early age. I mean, early indoctrination, going to school, being told to sit down, shut up, turn around, do your work. From age 5 all the way up until you're working for somebody else, same thing. You're being kind of told what to do. And when you actually branch out of that and in that leadership position, it's tough. Because again, you can have a vulnerable moment. And this would resonate with people who are managers or heads of an organization. I mean, you can have a bad day. Because again, if they see that within you, then they're like, oh, she's not real. She's not for real. I mean, her challenges, look at, she's beautiful. She's got her stuff together. She didn't go through that much. It wasn't that hard, right?
Yeah, I know. People are funny. It's so true.
Have you had those experiences too? Like again, I know I can't never have a bad day. I have to be on top. Once I get home, I can take the shoes off and be myself. But here I have to be on top of it all the time. On top of it.
It's funny because I think with me, because I shared everything on social media from the time I got diagnosed with the cancer, I shared everything through these Facebook Lives, through photos, and I would always put out just different comments and stuff so people got to see everything that I was going through. So when I do sometimes post, pictures of myself at the doctor and I say, today was not a good day, here's what he told me, but I'm going to go and I'm going to figure out a way to turn it around. But I'm pissed, I'm upset, because that's not what I wanted to hear because I've been working so hard. But I know it's going to work out, but today it's just not one of those days. I have so much support out there that people chime in and they're my little champions and cheerleaders. They're like, you're going to get through it, Diva. It's okay. It's all right. Everybody has a bad day. Yeah. You deserve a bad day because you've been through too much. So then it perks me up and it's like, okay, then it's really not that bad because look at all these people who are still going through stuff themselves who are rallying me to say, it's okay. You can have a bad day. You can have a down day. You can, but I think for me, because I did share so much and I showed the vulnerable side of myself in the very beginning, even to this day, I still post and do videos every time I get a scan, my treatments, because I go every 2 months, still the Ironwood Cancer Center, because I still have my port, because I get stuff for my bones. Because
so, where are you at with that, by the way?
It's just crazy.
Are you in remission? What?
No, I like to tell myself I am.
I don't even know what the terminology would be.
It's so crazy. I know. I like to tell myself I am, and I always tell my doctor, I say, am I done? Because mentally and physically, I feel like I'm done. But I go about every 2.5 months to Ironwood. I still get blood work, doctor visits. I get about 3 scans a year between PET scans and CT scans, because it's still microscopically in my bones, and they still see it concentrated in a little bit in my spine, because that's where, between my spine and my pelvis is where it generated the most. So my doctor's like, until we don't see these little, spots, because we're not sure if the cells are active or if they're dead, and they have a way of morphing, and I've seen it time and time again, because 2 years ago my cancer came back in my shoulders and I had to repeat radiation all over again. So he says, they have a way. So they're just staying on top of it. So every 2.5 months I go get treatment, and I get a medicine that looks like chemo. It's in a bag solution, and they just administer it through my port, and I take pills every day. But I just, like I said, I keep working out, I keep moving, and I do stuff, and I literally live like I don't have it.
Well, I mean, you're glowing like you've had nothing.
Oh, that's Vaseline. That's Vaseline on my skin. That's Vaseline.
You tried to tone down the shine before you came on.
I did. I was like, am I shiny? Am I shiny?
Do they tell you not to wear heels or anything, like when you have that sort of thing?
No, it was so funny. Like in the beginning, I couldn't, because I was in so much pain. But I would literally bring my heels with me, sit them next to me, and I would put them on and take selfies with them, because it made me feel good. Then I got to the point where I could wear them, and my doctor would be like, only you. And I said, well, this is what makes me feel good. And I got to build up these leg muscles so I can wear my heels again. But now I wear my heels all the time. I just didn't wear them today, but I love them. I absolutely love them.
That is a true diva, by the way. And talking about divas, we actually have your website up here. So if anybody wants to follow you and know a little bit more about you outside of here, I mean, we're almost at the end of the show.
I know, it goes by so quick.
It goes by super fast.
I love it.
So Diva Strong Media LLC, if you go down to Danielle DivaStrongMedia.com, she will be able to help you, facilitate. Again, your services, miss. Do you want to go over one more time?
Corporate host and MC. I also am a motivational speaker, sharing my cancer journey, because I tell people I truly have understood and defined turning a sour life situation into sweet lemonade. I'm a professional lemonade connoisseur. And also my public speaking workshop, which I'm, facilitating in different avenues. Like I said, I work with team building. I do some corporate things, some leadership groups, and also educational platforms. I've been in some of the schools, Peoria Elementary School, Maxine O'Bush. So, yeah.
What about some comedy shows? Are you doing any comedy shows?
I do. I actually have a couple of comedy shows, but a few of them
Write them down.
Private shows. But
really?
I do put them... they're like for the 55 and older community, and then I have one I'm doing, I think, for Alcoholics Anonymous. They want to make some of their team members there laugh, because it could be daunting working with, when you work in a therapy-based situation every day, you need to have humor. I actually did a comedy show in Ahwatukee for the teachers and the superintendents right before the school year started. So that was a lot of fun. They had a full dinner, and there was dessert, and it was me and a couple other comedians came in, and we had such a good time, because teachers, they're inundated sometimes with little kids or just the teenagers, and it get to be a bit much. And I don't think it's necessarily the kids. It's sometimes the parents, too. So giving them a break and just making them laugh. So I have those types of shows coming up, because this is the season. Everybody's having, an appreciation dinner, an awards dinner. We want to celebrate and say thank you. So a lot of that. So it's good. But I do post on Instagram a lot of my shows that you can come and see.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, because we have your Instagram right here.
One and only Diva Danielle.
Oh, my God. That's a lot to type in.
But it's just the number one and only Diva Danielle. You can find me. It's all good.
Number one and only Diva Danielle.
Yeah, so just use the number one and only Diva Danielle.
Also find Danielle Williams here on Facebook. If you're on Facebook Live and you're watching us, go to Danielle.Williams.1675.
Yeah.
And follow Danielle.
You'll see all my pictures.
Everywhere she's going.
You'll see all my hiking pictures, my good hair day pictures, because I be changing these wigs, honey. You just never know what you're going to get.
I don't know. And again, the amazing part is, like, I know you're going through a lot of things and a lot of things in your life, just like everybody else.
Right.
And this is significant to you, but, the presentation, everything that you said, and you're just being your spirit, do not say cancer whatsoever. So that is an amazing feat in of itself. He hasn't not defeated you in any way. So that's something to admire and something to be proud of. You know, I admire that.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah. And I always tell people it takes a village, and I had a village. I had a good support system with my mom and my family, but then the comedy community, they really rallied behind me, and they threw fundraisers. They raised a lot of money because in the initial, I had to pay out of pocket for a lot of it because, like I tell people, it wasn't a common cold. It was considered a terminal illness, and the medical field was like, well, we need to recoup our money. She might not be here.
They should do like a roast cancer on Danielle Williams.
Right. Well, they did make fun of me in the beginning. They were like, this girl got cancer? Well, she already ready. She got a room full of wigs, so she good to go. I was like, yeah, okay. I see where this is going.
Oh, boy.
Insane.
So if there was one thing that you'd want people to walk away with from this conversation or that you want to share, you have the floor, Miss.
Well, I always tell people the number one thing that helps me get out of my headspace is volunteer. I say if you can go out in the community, be a part of your community, get to know the entities that are doing the work, that are helping to make a difference in other people's lives in a positive way. If you're going through something crazy that you feel that you cannot overcome or just get through on your own, go volunteer somewhere. You'll hear some incredible stories. It'll take your mind off of it. 9 times out of 10, you learn a new skill. And you wind up connecting with someone in a way that you never thought you would. And it really enriches your life. So get out of your own headspace. Immerse yourself with somebody else who's going through probably something more tumultuous. And just become part of the community. It's a good thing. It's a feel-good thing. And that's what we're all here for. We all want to feel good and just help each other out. So, yeah.
I love it. So, join us on October 20th here at RCO Network. The link is down below if you want to get tickets. Come meet Danielle Williams amongst other speakers and other people. We got performers. Everything else, essentially. But I wanted to say thank you, Miss, for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
And being part of this journey and being part of my life, too, because every moment means a tremendous amount to me, you know, because these moments don't last forever.
They don't.
So hang on there. Come see Danielle, October 20th. We'll see you guys out. Thanks.